Hey guys, welcome back to Strictly Cars. The Proton X70 is familiar to most Malaysians. There are a large number of Proton X70s on the road, and for valid reasons, which we'll get into later. Let's start with a recap. The locally assembled CKD Proton X70 was debuted in early 2020 with several improvements, including a motorized tailgate, ventilated seats, and a new transmission. In comparison to the fully imported CBU versions, prices have decreased across the board. It will set you back at around 115,800 Malaysian ringgit. Is the Proton X70 still relevant to Malaysian customers now? Because the Proton X50 has captured part of the attention, with certain variations overlapping in terms of pricing. Yes, in a sentence, but let's take a closer look. Exterior. The Proton X70 is the absolute opposite of the Proton X50, which looks sharper, sportier, and all the other words you'd associate with being youthful. Personally, we think it's rather attractive. The Proton X70 has a tall and slim appearance because of its high-mounted tail lamps and tiny back window. The top-of-the-line premium models come with 19-inch wheels, which we think look great. Although the lower rung variations with smaller wheels enhance ride quality slightly and cut tire replacement costs, they are more expensive. The Proton X70 CKD performed admirably in terms of external paint thickness and panel gap uniformity. Without any obvious outliers, paint thickness averaged in the 120 S/m, and panel gaps differed by no more than 1 millimeter from the opposite sides. Interior. When the Proton X70 was originally released a little over 2 years ago, most consumers were delighted by its construction and material quality. On the upper half of the cabin, there are lovely and squishy soft plastics, silky Napa leather seats, cool-to-the-touch trim pieces, and robust handles on the center console. Nothing else comes close in terms of build and material quality at this price point. Not even the Proton X50 comes close. Let's move on to the things that could be improved. While the steering wheel may be telescopically adjusted, we would like it if it could be moved closer to the driver. In addition, the Sport button only affects the throttle and transmission mapping, not the steering. To change the steering qualities, you'd have to tinker around with the infotainment system, which we personally find inconvenient. As a result, we prefer to combine the steering adjustment with the Sport button on the center console. The GKUI infotainment system is another option. Yes, it's sharp and snappy, but it's missing one key feature: Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatibility. After experiencing the ease of Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, there's practically no turning back. Even if GKUI is fantastic, you still have to control your Spotify playlist from your phone, and it can't read or respond to WhatsApp messages. The rear seat isn't nearly as spacious as the Honda CR-Vs, but it's still adequate. For a 160 centimeter tall person, there are approximately 3 tennis balls of knee room and 2 tennis balls of headroom. One final point that isn't ideal, and it has to do with reality. The boot floor is somewhat high, and the entry is narrow. The boot height of the Proton X70 is 83 centimeters. The boot height of the Honda CR-V is 62 centimeters in contrast. Driving experience. The driving experience of the Proton X70 can be summarized in one word: it's sophisticated. The dual clutch gearbox has been fine-tuned to complement the smooth ride. There is no jut or jerkiness that dual clutch gearboxes are known for. In fact, the smoothness and quickness of the shifts make it seem more like a typical automatic transmission. The only way to know if it's dual clutch is when the car starts up. Based on the road gradient, the revs ride is higher than usual, approximately 1,500 RPM or so. If you remember manual transmissions, the experience is similar to balancing the clutch and throttle. You could be disappointed if you're expected the snappiness of DSG and Volkswagens, for example. However, the slower shift speed is claimed to improve longevity, so we think it's a reasonable compromise. Normal mode steering is mild, however, Sport mode just adds more resistance without increasing feedback. The pedals have a wonderful muted feel to them, which contributes to the elegance. Given its size and weight, its straight-line performance is sufficient. The sprint time from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 10.4 seconds. Enough torque makes daily and interstate driving a more pleasurable experience. And what a cruiser it is! It just takes up the miles effortlessly. The Proton X70 lacks the sharpness of the Mazda CX-5 and the capabilities of the Subaru Forester when it comes to handling. The steering isn't the most precise, and the Proton X70's high center of gravity and weight transfer are noticeable in turn. The Proton X70, on the other hand, is a comfort-oriented SUV, and it delivers brilliantly in that regard. Fuel consumption. After driving for 67.7 kilometers and refueling with 7.2 liters of gasoline, the calculated fuel usage was 10.6 liters per 100 kilometers. When the fully imported Proton X70 was tested, it achieved 7.5 liters per 100 kilometers in clear Sunday afternoon traffic with mostly highway driving. As a result, if your daily commute consists primarily of city driving, you may expect an average fuel usage of 10 liters per 100 kilometers. On the other hand, an average of 7 liters per 100 kilometers is feasible on highways. Finally, the Proton X70 has a few flaws, like a high trunk floor that limits usage, high fuel consumption, and an infotainment system that lacks Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity. However, for the money, the Proton X70 remains the most comfortable and well-equipped SUV, not to mention the rather premium cabin. It's even comfier than well-known rivals like the Honda CR-V and Mazda CX-5. So guys, that was it for this video. What did you think about our video? Let us know in the comment section below. If you are new to our channel, be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell to get notified about our latest videos. Thank you for watching.